In the last lesson, we explored Karma Yoga, how the Bhagavad Gita teaches us to act without attachment to results. And if you've practiced this even a little, you may have noticed something important. Acting without attachment reduces inner conflict, but it doesn't always eliminate it. The mind can still become disturbed, reactions still arise, doubt still appears. So the Gita now asks a deeper question, not how to act better, but who is actually acting. Naturally, the question comes next. Why is there still inner disturbance, even when I try to act rightly? Krishna's answer in the Bhagavad Gita is very clear. The deeper cause of disturbance is not action itself. It is ignorance of who we really are. And the yoga Krishna teaches to remove this ignorance is called Jnana Yoga. Today, Jnana Yoga is often presented as abstract philosophy or endless self-analysis. But that is not how Krishna uses the term in the Gita. Jnana Yoga, as Krishna teaches it, is the yoga of true knowledge. Knowledge that clearly distinguishes the self from the non-self, and in doing so cuts the root of bondage. This is not book knowledge, it is not intellectual debate, and it is not passive detachment. It is liberating clarity. Krishna makes this distinction very early in the Gita. In chapter 3, verse 3, he says, "A twofold path was taught by me before, the path of knowledge for the contemplative, and the path of action for the active." Here, Krishna explicitly names Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga as two paths. Not one vague method, not one cancelling the other. They address different aspects of bondage. Karma Yoga works with how we act. Jnana Yoga works with how we know ourselves. Karma Yoga teaches us to act without clinging to outcomes. But as long as we still believe, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the doer, then action can still bind. Even good action, even spiritual action. The Bhagavad Gita is very precise here. Bondage does not come from action itself. It comes from mistaken identity, and that mistaken identity is removed by knowledge. This is why chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita is traditionally titled Jnana Yoga. In this chapter, Krishna explains the true nature of action and inaction, how knowledge burns karma, and how ignorance binds while knowledge frees. One of the most important verses comes near the end of the chapter. Krishna says, "Therefore, with the sword of knowledge, cut asunder the doubt-born of ignorance that lies in your heart. Establish yourself in yoga and arise." Bhagavad Gita 4.42. Notice the language Krishna uses. A sword. Doubt cut asunder. Ignorance destroyed. This is not passive philosophy. This is decisive inner clarity. Krishna goes even further. He says that knowledge is the purest thing there is. Earlier in the same chapter he says, "There is nothing here as pure as knowledge." In time, the perfected yogi finds that in his own Atman. Bhagavad Gita 4.38. This is crucial. Jnana is not something you collect. It is something you recognize within yourself. It is the clear seeing that the self is not the body, the self is not the mind, the self is the aware presence that witnesses both. And when this is seen clearly, ignorance dissolves. Why does this matter for inner freedom? Because disturbance belongs to what changes. Thoughts change, emotions change, sensations change. Jnana Yoga does not try to control these. Instead, it reveals that which knows change is not itself changing. When this is understood, not intellectually but clearly, The grip of disturbance weakens. You may still feel emotions, you may still have thoughts, but they no longer define who you are. This is the freedom Krishna is pointing to. Krishna is careful here, and so should we be. He repeatedly says that both Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga can lead to the highest goal, but he also emphasizes that Karma Yoga is generally more suitable for most people. Why? Because action purifies the mind, and a purified mind is capable of true knowledge. So Jnana Yoga does not replace Karma Yoga, it completes it. Knowledge reveals why action no longer binds. Later in the Gita, especially in chapter 7, Krishna deepens this teaching. Knowledge about the truth becomes realized knowledge of the truth, and when knowledge is fully lived, it naturally matures into devotion. Not blind belief, but devotion grounded in understanding. This is how the yogas in the Bhagavad Gita interweave rather than compete. So when Krishna teaches Jnana Yoga, he is not offering dry philosophy. He is offering freedom from ignorance, freedom from mistaken identity, from believing we are what we observe. In the next lessons, we'll continue to see how this knowledge is lived, through action, devotion, and steady clarity. If this teaching resonates with you, I recommend watching the previous Bhagavad Gita lessons. You are not the body, you are not the mind, and how to practice Karma Yoga. Together they form the foundation for understanding Jnana Yoga. Links are in the description. Thank you for practicing with me today.